What's up, guys? Back once again. Week 4, round 4, the Big E, ELDORA Speedway. NOS Energy Drink, iRacing, Wing Sprint Car Pro Series. Another decent week, I gotta say. You know, I came in here, I mean, obviously, you guys, if you saw the last video, not expecting too much from myself, but was able to pull out a pretty decent finish. Didn't qualify how I wanted to, just missed the line that I had been running all morning in 3 and 4, and added about 3, 4, 5 hundredths of a second to my time that I didn't need. This could have been probably 880, 890, and we just missed it. So didn't get the greatest starting spot. So this is the lap right here. Just entered a little bit too wide and didn't get the car turned enough. I kind of came in earlier than I wanted to here. I would have liked to probably turn down just a little bit later and get the car rotated a little bit more. And because I entered early, it didn't allow me to turn the car as much as I wanted to because I had to avoid this wall. Ideally, I'd like to be about half a car length wider here and then be able to turn that car down way tighter to the wall, and just didn't accomplish that. So we added about, like I said, 3, 4, 5 hundredths of a second to our time by doing that and coming out way wide here. But I mean, still called, I think that's 17th, I think it was when I counted earlier. Had a chance to be up here, you know, like my quickest time practicing on 1% all day long was 863. So I mean, that would have been good for second. I didn't come into the lobby expecting to do that, just because I had the temps set every time in practice for 75 degrees, 70-degree track, and then like only 2 miles per hour wind. Little extra, not much wind here. Actually a cooler track, so just missed the line. Nothing else really. Nothing else to attribute to that. I mean, I went into it knowing what I needed to do and just didn't execute. And then here in the heat race, a lot of connection issues for most of the guys. If you guys watched the race, you know already that there was big time netcode issues and things like that. Here in front of me, I think that's Lewis. I just don't know if he doesn't even see this car go, because cars were blinking in and out of his screen, and he just doesn't get on the gas, really. Like, I don't know. So I kind of lift back here and as to not pass him and almost all the way out of the gas on the start. Never really want to have to do that, but just trying to be safe here. And then the guys on the outside here all get stacked up. I think this was mostly netcode contact. I think we can kind of zoom around to see how they make contact here. Oops. Let's try and see if we can get a good angle. Yeah, see, just netcode there. LB into the back of Zane. Netcode, and then it stacks them up because Zane lost speed from the netcode. And then these guys all get really stacked up. Cars start wrecking. And I pull right up into the 4th transfer spot. So we go from sitting in 5th to 4th right away again, like just like Fairbury, into a transfer spot right away. And we have a pretty good gap behind us now. And just basically all about following these guys in front of me. They weren't really blinking on my screen that much. I did see them kind of make weird netcode contact a few times, but they weren't really blinking that bad on my screen. I know that they did kind of netcode touch each other here at one point. Let's see if we can get to that lap. But here, just trying to ride the marbles and stay. There it is. And stay in the fast line. And just not get myself into trouble. They netcode here. Boom. Lewis hits him like after Cooper's already pulled down the track. That's really, really weird netcode. But I mean, Lewis is still fine. He's still in a transfer spot. Hardy's still a ways back here, so he has plenty of room to recover. And he does a pretty good job of getting the car straight, and then he just tries to Volusia me, I guess. I don't know why he comes all the way up with a car on the outside of him. Luckily for me this time, Again, I'm on the good end of it. Last time at Volusia, he went through my car. This time, I guess he doesn't get so lucky. He flips himself over. Thank God this is AJ behind me coming through. Thank God Hardy turns down quick. And then thank God this is AJ behind me, because AJ gets on the binders pretty hard here. It just jams on the brake just as I'm just trying to recover my car. And then we settle into those spots. Now I know I have front end damage. Just trying to protect with the slider line, and is able to hold off these two guys behind me. But yeah, again, it's just, I don't know if weird contact. Maybe he didn't see me on the outside because he had just had. They said cars were blinking everywhere, so he had no idea where cars were most of that time. Tim Ryan said the same thing, the other Aussie. So Lewis is from Australia, so I don't know if he just doesn't know that there's a car there. He obviously saw Cooper, but that Neko contact was pretty ridiculous. And then I don't know if he doesn't see my car on his outside, or that's just bad luck on his part, I guess. But yeah, unfortunate there. I mean, he has the transfer spot locked up. Thankfully, I hang on to mine and stay transferred through, and then we'll jump straight to the feature. There's a lot of drama later on in the C's and B mains, but in the warm-up, I just went out to go get a fuel number and make sure that 22 was going to be okay, so I tried to go around the top a little bit. Nothing real interesting there. Bergeron was fastest car in warm-up, and then took him a while to get around Tim. They battled pretty hard, but he's able to get around Tim 3 or 4 laps to go, and then they finish out that way, I think. Or Hayden passed Tim for second, so they had a hell of a race up front. I don't know if you guys watched the broadcast or not, but that's definitely one to go back and review, because that was a great race up front. Here we get started. As usual, just being safe for the first 5-10 laps. Greg gets sideways in front of us on the start here, so we can't get hammered down, but he forgot his wing was at 0 for the first 10 laps, he said, which was pretty funny. So, but again, Greg making his first feature. Congrats to our buddy Greg, shake and bake in the feature, finally making it together, starting right by each other. And then this was a really fantastic race. This ended up being probably one of the better races that we'll put on for the year. ELDORA provided a pretty damn good racy track. So, but not to spoil it or anything, but I start 14th and I finish 14th. So the car just wasn't faster than 14th in this race, and it wasn't slower than 14th, I guess. So didn't really pass very many cars. Past Greg there, like on that second lap. But other than that, we kind of just ran the middle the whole time. Tyler's down here making the bottom work for a while, and then he goes up top after a mid-race caution. But nothing particularly, I can never say that word, particularly exciting. We do get some 3-wide racing, some contact here in a bit, but everybody keeps it going, keeps it straight. And just eventually here, JD Brown comes up from somewhere right here, and we race side by side for 20 something laps, it felt like. So I think the caution comes out on lap 10 or 11, I guess, and then the rest of the race, it's just me and him, like, side by side. So we had a damn good race. That was probably one of the better battles I've been in all year, so that was pretty fun. Just running through the middle, trying to find the lightest dirt possible, trying to avoid the dark black spots. Can't go up to the wall on the exits. Cars are always high on every lap, side by side, pretty much everywhere. And you guys, you can see these slider battles going on up here. These guys ripping down the wall. I ran practice laps up there, not in the warm-up, but like previously when we did warm-up lobbies, like in hosted races and stuff. I was running laps up there, and I felt okay. But this ELDORA logo here, this last one just was not my friend. The wall kind of comes out in a weird angle here, and I smacked it just over and over and over. and just wasn't about to go and do that and take myself out of the race, or, especially this early. Just running in the middle of the pack here, didn't want to make any huge mistakes. And then here's our only wreck of the race. This is just two kind of teammates coming together. Colton coming off the cushion to avoid the hole and avoid the slick here, which was the faster line. I mean, you can get your right side in this moisture here and be really fast, but Hardy coming through the middle and sliding up to it. And they both just wanted the same piece of real estate here, and then they wheel each other, and Davis just isn't able to keep it off the wall. He does a pretty good job of like getting it straight, but this last little turn to the right here, I think, really hurts him. He's trying to get off of Hardy. I know what he's doing, but had they just kind of stay wheel locked almost and gotten out of the gas, probably half throttle for both of them or so, they would have survived this. But they tried to steer. I mean, you can see both their wheels. They're trying to steer away from each other, and this is always going to be the guy that gets the bad end of the deal, because it's so hard to catch your car and stop the momentum when there is slick there, and he just gets kind of the run of the mill flip and then gets tagged by a couple other guys and can't get it back on its wheels. Probably didn't have very much damage, and which is unfortunate, because he finished 5th last week at Fairbury, and then he comes out here and has to settle for 20th here, running in the top 10, and had another good car, but just kind of a Humpty Dumpty flip there. And then a couple cars come through and try to help him get back on all fours, but unfortunately they just doesn't happen for him. We get restarted here. Decent restart for everybody. Much better than having to restart in turn 2 like at Fairbury. Good restart from pretty much the whole field. Everybody stays nice and tight. They get into each other right in front of us here. This was pretty scary. So I wanted to file into the top here. I wanted to try the top here after the restart, because I know the marbles have been packed in. But Cabre and, is that Sheeble? Sheeble get into each other going into this corner, and that shoots Sheeble up in a weird kind of situation. So I think he's going to go up to the wall and stack everybody up, but he does a good job of stopping it. And then I just kind of have to not get into him. And then again, contact right in front of us. Cole getting into everybody. Running into the back of Hardy here. Hardy kind of getting into the wall and then shooting up across him. I don't even know if they made contact. Yeah, they do. He rides up on the back of his bumper there. And again, we kind of just have to check up for that, just to make sure nobody kind of stacks up. We go really, really low into this corner, which isn't the line I wanted at this point. There's not much grip off. And then we get tubbed by a few cars on the outside here. So 3 wide coming off this corner. I think all 3 of us did a really good job of keeping this alive. Cole makes netco contact with Hardy. Hardy does a better job of keeping it off the wall. And we get lucky and our wheels kind of go through each other. And then, yeah, just way out of the gas to avoid spinning or making a mess of that. And at some point here, we get one more spot back. I'm not sure who fell back one more spot, but here's JD now, and we start racing side by side pretty much the whole rest of the way. So, who falls back one more spot? Oh, must have been Newhoffen. Oh, he ran out of gas on the last lap. That's right. So we're battling for 15th here. Me and Brown for battling for top 15 for much of this race. And finally, I was able to fill into the top here and test it out. It wasn't awful, but this hole in the middle of 3 and 4 right there where you saw Hardy kind of bounce off of it, right there. I just tried to cut down every time right before that. I was kind of using the cars in front of me as a judge of where that was. And then Newhoffen pulls up in front of me here to get back to the top where he wanted to run, and I figured I could run like a semi cut down line and try to get speed back. And I think this lap ends up being faster for me, so I don't go back to the top after that. And I just try to fill into the middle here where this cut, I can use this cut down line. JD with the slider there, so I cut early and tried to get as much grip as possible. Kept missing the entry in 3 and 4. I didn't want to enter this low, and I kept doing it over and over because I felt like there was, you know, not enough room to go wide and get into the side of a car on my outside. And you've got to really, if you want to run this middle, you've got to be higher and get your momentum, you know, down the track on the exit of 4 so you have enough straightaway speed. But I'm just sliding through the middle here and then get caught up in the darkest spot on the track where you don't want to be. And do a much better job of it in 1 and 2 pretty much the whole night. But in 3 and 4 just wasn't doing it quite how I wanted to. Tried to slide through this hole on this lap. Was okay, but you know, it's so sketchy going and doing that for 10 laps in a row. Staying up high here, just trying to keep as much momentum around the track as possible. I know JD's on the inside of me, and I'm gaining time on him, so I'm just staying up here for now. Running about a lane off the cushion because I'm not good enough to hammer it like you see these guys up front here. Let's go up front and watch these guys for a minute. Cardwell, Tim, and Bergeron all running this top line. Slider battle here, it looks like. And phone's going off. They were able to just hammer the cushion for most of this race. And they're still faster than the field, even though they're having a slider battle. That's what's so funny. That's how good these 3 guys are. But have a huge gap to 4th. And we'll get back here to my battle with JD. Lap 22. We'll fast forward a little bit here till he catches up. I eventually just make too many mistakes in 3 and 4, not maximizing my speed in that corner. And we run side by side for so long. It felt like just the pressure was there like the whole time, you know, slides me there. I think I got into the wall. A little bit on the wall there, and it kind of turns me, lose momentum going into 1 and 2. He slides me. Get a good run back down. Hold him off in 3 and 4. Hit the line I want in 1 and 2. Not enough speed in 3 and 4 the whole race. Really just wasn't able to get back into the gas as much as I wanted to. 5 to go coming by this time. Side by side still. I'm still on the outside, so I still have the advantage of momentum to go to the top if I want to. Try it there a couple times. Cut off the cushion. Marbles started to form. We'll see if we can see it this lap. A little bit of marbles here on the exit, so I knew I could get in those and get good drive, full throttle. And then always this line at ELDORA stays nice and fresh. Really, really dark, and then it gets dark, and then there's always like a little lane that you can kind of slide through. And that's what I was just trying to hit on a few of these laps. Slide up and then cut right back down. And had some pretty good laps here late in the race, you know, using that 172 there, 306. So, you know, I'd pick up time, but just couldn't catch these guys in front of me. I mean, they're running 3s, 6s, 3s, 2s, 1s, 2s, 1s, 1, 2, 2. But these 3 guys in front were just in a class of their own, really. 0, 157, 1 exactly. So they're checked out, obviously. And then just really, really big gaps to not really catch cars in front of us. No cautions after that one flip though, so the field never really got stacked back up to allow mid-pack guys to maybe pick off a spot here and there on a bad restart from somebody. And just a good clean race from everybody. You know, it was a lot smoother than Fairbury was, obviously. A nice big wide track. I tried the bottom here. See, I saw a little bit of lightness on the previous lap, and I think JD got into the wall. Otherwise, he passes me. Yeah. So JD has the preferred line here. Then he kind of just gets up in the cushion and has to settle the car back down. And then Cole just must have ran out of gas. I'm not really sure what happened to him here. Yeah, just runs out of gas. I don't know what number he put in, but it wasn't the right one. And we go from 15th to 14th on the last lap. And we're able to finish right where we started. Able to hold off JD and the other handful of guys behind us. But, yeah, I won't go through the race at the lead here. I mean, I guess I can go back and watch the last few laps for you guys. But This is one I definitely suggest watching on the broadcast because this battle up here between AB and Tim was pretty good. I mean, netcode kind of hurt Tim twice. There's netcode here. Boom, hits him there, knocks him into the wall. Otherwise, Tim might hang on to the win here. Tight slider here. Alex knows it's coming. It's a big drive off, and then he's kind of just riding off into the sunset. And then a few more mistakes from Tim allow Hayden to get back into this. And Hayden's fastest car on track at this point, I think, with 2 to go. And he's able to run down Tim. This was a really, really good call by the 2 guys on the broadcast. So if you guys haven't watched that yet, and that's one to go watch for sure. I just don't know what shocks or what bars these guys have in this car, because if you see Hayden here, he is all the way on the cushion, and that car's just smooth sailing, like not bouncing at all. And I go up there and try and do that, and I do what Tim does and smack the wall and stuff. So I don't know how the kid does it. He's just, I don't know what setup's in that car. And the netcode there, bam. And netcode there again, and Tim loses one more spot because of it. And Hayden able to slide up in front of him and take second right at the last corner. So they had a really good race up front. Those 3. Class of their own, like we said. Hayden's got a 5-point lead in the championship, so I mean, you're looking at a 2-time champ. Where'd Tim go? 1-time champ, and what very well might be this year's champ battling out there for a win at Eldora, where 1 point matters really in this thing right now because these 3 guys are so close at the top of the leaderboard. Other than that, like I said, not much action on my end. We were kind of spaced out from the field in front of us, so not really room to catch guys even when I would hit a good lap. And then just a really good battle with JD the whole time. And we just had a 14th place car this week. Like last week, I felt the car was a lot better than I drove it. Put myself in bad positions, but this week this car was a mid-pack car. Like where I qualified wasn't as good as I could have. But either way, I think getting into the feature, had I qualified better and maybe finished a heat race better, it probably doesn't go much better than this for me. Eldora's just not a track I'm that comfortable with ripping the wall. I don't know, just don't have the right shot combination or the right bar combination maybe, but like Hayden and Tim and a lot of these guys up front here, they can just go run right on the cushion somehow, and the car's just so stable, and it just never comes out from underneath them. So if I can figure that out, man, might be contending a lot better than we are, but can't complain. 14th in the world this week. Much like last week, just a mid-pack car at the end. Last week's car was definitely better. This car's a mid-pack car at Eldora. So that's all I can say about that. Next week we got round 5, Lernerville. Historically a decent track for me. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to be a good track for me with this caliber of field going up against, obviously. So we'll have to. That'll be fun. That'll be pretty fun to see how I can stack up against world-class drivers. So, I've raced a lot of these guys before in leagues and stuff, but never all 33 now. No, never all 33 of them at one time. So it's gonna be a tough battle, man. It's hard for me to rip the lip there like most of these guys can do because I'll put it over the banking quite a bit. Most of my talent comes from being able to slow the car down in 1 and 2 and really, really hit the bottom good. And if it's there, I can be good. But if it's not, if it's around the top in 1 and 2, I really, really struggle. So if it goes down to the very bottom in 1 and 2, or even kind of gets 1 or 2 lanes off where there's some marbles forming, I can be really, really good there. 3 and 4, I can usually run the top okay. Not the best, obviously, but a lot of times the top at Lernerville gets a lane off, like 3 and 4. There'll be some moisture, kind of like right here at ELDORA, but it's more drastic at Lernerville, I feel like, for much longer, too. And the whole corner kind of holds moisture. You see it lose a lot of moisture here through the middle of 4. Lernerville's a little bit different. It holds a lot more moisture, and I can be pretty good on that line. So if we can get lucky and get a track where it's on the bottom of 1 and 2, or even right through the middle, and then kind of a lane off the top in 3 and 4, we might be all right. So, just had fun this week. Got through a race unscathed. Oh, I forgot to say, I did get my 4X back from that Fairbury wreck. So good news there. The Board of Incident Appeals or something, I forgot what it was called, emailed me back yesterday before this ELDORA race and said that they agreed it was a racing incident, and so I was not found at fault for that turn 2 incident on lap 19 with Simmelman, and got that 4X back. So that took me back down to 6X, right? This is up to 10. Yes, so that took me down to 6X, which means I had a clean week at Fairbury, which drops off 2 if you have a clean week. So I was at 4X coming into ELDORA, and then we have a clean race here at ELDORA, so we're down to 2X. It's pretty exciting. Not on the verge of suspension. We go from potentially going into this race with 10X, and one wrong move, get suspended for a week, but we come out of it just with 2X. So a big, kind of I don't want to say confidence booster, because it's not really a confidence issue. It's more of a, I can race harder. I can race harder knowing I have some leeway. If I get into a wreck, or if I go and try to hammer the cushion at Lernerville and I go over the cushion and cause a caution and get a 4X, I'm not in jeopardy of, getting up to 12 or the 13X limit. So it was pretty nice having that feeling here going into ELDORA too. If I did want to go to the top and maybe pound the wall and spin out and cause a caution, that I wouldn't have gotten suspended. So, just looking forward to next week. Like I said, just got to keep making features. We've made 3 out of the 4 now. We missed the feature in our worst track, so we're right on schedule of what I thought would be my case. So, I came into this, having confidence enough to make features, and we're doing that. 3 out of 4, 75% is pretty good for a rookie, so I'll take it. Anything else I gotta say? I don't think so. So try and wrap this one up. I usually draw out my my goodbyes a little too long, so I'll try not to do that this time. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. Tonight we are gonna do some live racing. Should be able to at least do some USA 360s with the DOB League. So tune in twitch.tv /shapes for that one, SHAEPZ. And I'll see you guys there. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, I will see you in maybe another one of these next week. Find out if we can make the feature. If not, I'm not gonna waste my time with these if I don't make the feature. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time either. So unless you guys want to know, what I could have done different, but sometimes there's just not much you can do different, like Knoxville. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.